If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
Well, it is live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice. Glad you're in on a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Slick Rick's here. Feeling blue, 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 blue. Slickster's going to do some sports. Looking good in that baby blue.
Thank you,
Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Is that a new jacket?
No, it's actually his full suit.
Well, I mean, but have we seen it before?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I wore it probably like a month ago.
But I don't remember anything, so.
It's true.
But you look good, Slickster.
Thank you.
How was your day?
It was a good day. You know, I caught up. I had a lunch meeting at 1 o'clock that didn't end till almost 4 o'clock, you know, so 2 Bloody Marys in, it was a little too much. So, man, oh, man, I got to wake up and straighten out. And
Okay,
you ever had one of those business lunches that, like, it just keep going on and on?
Okay.
So, one of those.
All right, very good.
But he watches the show, my friend. Actually, he watches. I didn't even realize
Very
he watched
nice.
the show.
Okay, very nice.
Fan of the
Very
show.
good. Very good.
Dennis.
Vinny Mac's here. He's going to do some news. Vinny Mac, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Big D. Thank you. I appreciate the, saying hello and everything. It's very nice
How
of
was
you.
your day? We haven't
Yeah.
seen you in a while.
My day was good. I was on Zooms all day with this shirt on and my underwear. It was
Yes.
a very interesting day. No one knew.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Can we
Thank
change
you.
your last name to Tubin now?
Yeah. He was on Tubi.
No Jeffrey Tubin
I
moment.
haven't
Tubi
welcomed
television.
you yet. I haven't welcomed you yet.
Oh.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So everything
speak
else
when you're
is good,
spoken
Vin?
to.
Yeah, everything's good. Feeling
All right,
good.
very good.
Thank you.
I went out of order because I wanted to end my welcomes to the man to my right, Mr. Rick Delgado. Mr. Delgado,
How was your day?
Just be honest with us now. This is the time
Yeah.
to sit here and let us know, because everyone wants to know. After today's cabinet meeting,
Yes.
are you going to be okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Years of therapy.
I'm locked in. I mean, aside from the way that question was handled, the administration, because of that question, looks like a monkey playing with a football, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Not the normal way.
Interesting. Yeah.
That was a disaster. But I'm fine. Me personally, I'm fine. You know why? Because I look at it like this, Dame. If I get 7 out of 10,
Our
or
text
8 out of
thread
10,
earlier in the day says different.
those are private.
Yeah.
7 out of 10 things with the Trump administration, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're winning. And he made a great point. Yes, there's a lot of wins and a lot of good things that are happening, and I get that, and I understand. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on the wins there, bro. And I never had confidence in Bondi going in, and that solidified today that she needs to go away. She needs to hand in her stuff, hand in the key, saying, I stink at this job. I got to walk away. I'll sail off into the sunset, and, I'll go sip margaritas on the beach, and, maybe I'll pick up a
If you're
gig
gonna
here
say
and
that,
there.
you got Cash Patel, you got Dan Bongino, you got everybody you got to throw out at that point.
No,
You
not,
gotta take
not
that
really.
position.
No, because at least they can talk. The answers to her question, to the question posed to her, she double talks and contradicts herself so much, and it's been pointed out so much. She is a bad messenger. And remember, we played that clip last week where was it RFK? I think he was saying he was amazed at the people that Trump picked because he would watch them on TV, and he thought, great, they can talk.
Right, yeah.
That would elevate them up the ladder. Yeah. They must have been editing her stuff
I don't know.
because she stinks.
So I'll put you down as undecided?
Yeah, I think you could put... you know what? That sounds good.
Okay.
Other than that, I am not triggered at all.
No, not
Very
Very low key.
I'll take how do we change the subject, Alex, for 500? Oh, look at here. Headline. John Brennan and James Comey under criminal investigation by the FBI tonight. Look at this.
Ding!
That's a good one.
There you go.
Both former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey are under a criminal investigation by the FBI after they were referred to the agency right after the cabinet meeting today, by the agency, by the CIA Director John Ratcliffe. This has to do with wrongdoing by the two of them in the Trump-Russia probe. Former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey are under criminal investigation for potential wrongdoing related to the Trump-Russia probe, including allegedly making false statements to Congress. How many people do you think we could bring up on that charge?
Oh, there's a long
How many
line.
Democrats and how many... former administration officials. Could we bring that up on, I wonder?
Tons.
CIA Director Ratcliffe referred evidence of wrongdoing by Brennan to FBI Director Kash Patel for potential prosecution, DOJ sources told Fox News Digital. The sources said that the referral was received and told Fox News Digital that a criminal investigation into Brennan was opened and is underway. DOJ sources declined to provide further details. And so my point of bringing this up, half jokingly, is this is obviously good news because the two of them we know.
Yeah, for sure.
But the timing of it,
Come on.
just seems.
Come on.
It seems like I'll take. How do we get the attention off of Epstein for 500, please, Alex?
Come on. This is just low-hanging red meat. Hey, we're going to do an investigation. Now, we can't tell you about the investigation because it's under investigation, so we can't actually talk about the investigation of the people that are being investigated, but they're under investigation. Nothing will ever come of it. It'll disappear because none of these people ever get prosecuted.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And another thing, he didn't commit suicide.
Well, which one? I don't even know what you're talking about now. You're talking about Brennan and Clapper, or I'm Brennan and Comey, or
they're still alive.
Clapper should be there too, by the way. Or are you still talking about Epstein?
I'm talking about them all. None of them have committed suicide. Don't worry.
Okay, but do you think Brennan and Comey are going anywhere, or this is just shiny object time?
No, Comey's going to continue his walks on the beach, playing with his seashells, and Brennan's going to continue making the rounds on CNN and MSNBC because that's what he does.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you've just, I mean, you're completely off the reservation with the whole administration at this point.
No.
As far as the
7 to 10, I'm good. But that this is a big one.
Nice,
because this is what we voted for. We voted for, a lot of people voted for the immigration, which is going great. What they have, like 1 person and a half get over last month?
Barely.
Nothing's happening there. Perfect.
Well, Tom Homan did recognize finally that 3,000 a day is not enough. So, yes, I think it's going well as far as shutting the border down.
Yes.
But as far as what they're doing on the interior, I think Tom Homan really is now facing the idea, and that's why the one good thing, of course, a couple good things in the bill, is this is obviously over the spending that's going to go to ICE to hopefully supercharge that number from 3,000 a day to what you really need is more like 7,000-8,000 a day.
Right. Yeah, that's what he said.
So.
But yeah, I have no confidence that this will go anywhere because these guys have probably made their deals. They've already got their get out of jail free cards. They know things about people. If you put me away, I might say something about that guy. And they're like,
Let me ask you a couple of questions on
all right,
this.
Vin, I was going to say, Vin, let's jump in here now. You haven't been here since last week. You've seen this all unfold over the last couple of days. What's your point of view?
I have a different point of view, although, I love Delgado and respect where he's coming from. So I get that. I think people have a right to be upset over this. We expected to see something. But I have a couple of different viewpoints on this. One, there's been the narrative that, Trump's on the list, and that's why it didn't come out.
that's a lie.
That's a lie. If he was on the list, it would be out.
Exactly.
What I believe...
Yeah, the left would have weaponized that
would have been
years
out
ago.
Oh, yeah. They would have taken it, tried to take him down with it.
Yeah.
What I believe has occurred is the CIA and FBI pre-Trump did what they've done to JFK's files and Martin Luther King's files and everything else that's controversial. When they do bad things, they destroyed a lot of documents. And those documents that have been destroyed may very well have the stuff you're talking about in there. When Pam Bondi got a hold of it, and I've been on the fence with Pam Bondi for a little while, but I'm seeing movement. The last 30, 60 days, I'm seeing a lot of movement, including today's announcement, where the DOJ has to be part of this announcement with those rats, Comey, and so on. But I feel like she got stuff. They were ahead of their skis on this one, and they didn't have the goods that they thought they had. And I think it's because people just destroyed all that stuff. So I come from the point of view that I kind of believe her. I don't think that they're holding it back for any reason other than if Trump decided, I want to have something over all these people.
We talked about that too.
Right? And I think that's a legitimate, I can see that playing out, and I can see it being very effective because you've got to marginalize some very, very bad people. But I don't see that happening. So I'm not seeing people turning and, being a part of supporting Trump. I haven't seen any Democrats. Every one of them have turned on him. So I'm not seeing a result there. So I'm not believing that fully. But is it a possibility? Yes.
All right. Here's why Bondi
Larry on X says, tell Muscle Arms over there that he's wrong about Pam Bondi. She's just following orders from President Trump. Trump is the one holding back the Epstein files, which is kind of to my point of yesterday.
We talked about that, yeah.
The buck doesn't really stop at the FBI director or the AG. The buck stops with the guy who can declassify on the spot if he wants to.
I understand that, but there's also you always have that plausible deniability. You want to make sure you give the president latitude. So maybe there's stuff you're going to say, you know what, we're not going to share that with you, Mr. President, because we want you to have plausible deniability to kind of keep you out of that scrum. I understand that part as well. The reason why who sent me the message about Bondi being awesome?
I think it was Larry.
Larry, Bondi sucks. Here's why. Because of what I said. Her communication skills suck. What Vin said was right. If and I've heard this discussed too, that by the time Bongino and Cash got there, things have been destroyed and they don't have what they were hoping to find, then she should have came out and said, look, we got a lot of stuff in. There was stuff that we were expecting to find. We've learned now that it's been destroyed. There's no way to recreate it. There's no way to find it. We're going to keep working on it and see what we can get. Be honest. But don't sit there and try and tie in, well, it was all these videos of child porn. And she starts talking about child porn like we care about seeing videos. Nobody wants to see videos. We want to see the people who these young kids were trafficked to be held accountable. That's what we're talking about. She's trying to control the narrative and send it to, these porn videos are terrible and we don't want these kids ever to have to deal with it. We agree with that. That's not the question, though, and it never has been. We want the people who perpetrated these crimes purportedly, like the Prince Andrews, like the Bill Clintons, allegedly, like the Bill Gates, allegedly. We want the people that are on those lists, and they showed part of that list. That flight log list. You're telling me the flight log list now doesn't exist either, and that all these hundreds of young kids were trafficked for one guy who had cameras around every residence and his plane so he could videotape himself.
Well, when you say allegedly, can I ask you a stupid question? Because I just don't follow. I haven't followed this over the years as closely as you have.
Yes.
How much of this is all allegedly? Meaning, how much of this is just grown from talking heads talking and going and how much of it is actually under oath? How much of it has actually been presented on a factual basis into the public domain through courts or
some of those names? And again, that's been through stuff that was said in the media. Based on the flight log list and people's trips down there. And they knew they were going down there, which is why Bill Gates is not married anymore to Melinda Gates, because she had a problem.
All right, hold on. Take the break. We'll come back.
Anyhow. But other than that, I'm fine.
Delgado's got some news to do, and he's got 47 clips to go from Epstein. So all those.
Got to put batteries in the pacemaker again there, Rick. We'll get you going.
We're both good.
He's got his comfort doll tonight.
You got a lot of support out there, Delgado, I got to say.
Take comfort in that.
Yeah. Lisa Krukust. How do you pronounce this?
Chat.
A lot of support for Delgado on Facebook right here. Lisa K. saying, go ahead to go, Delgado.
Buzzard of 207. Big D's good at playing dumb with Delgado. Thank you.
He knows the game.
Finally, someone who sees the game and just doesn't go, oh, he doesn't like them.
Ticked off Patriots in your corner on the YouTube. Exactly, Delgado. Exactly.
Nancy Burns, hello.
Oh, Cat SB says Damon is making a good point, too. See, so.
Clint Leggett, what's up, pal?
Oh, Clint.
Clint and I grew up together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
8 houses apart. Yeah.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's actually in the chat. I see him a lot.
Yeah.
He's in the YouTube chat.
You go trick-or-treating together and stuff like that?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, was he there when the girl punched him in the face?
No, he wasn't there when the girl
punched me in the face.
She didn't punch me in the face either.
She
With
threw
the
it.
baseball.
She threw the baseball at me. She tried to take me out.
Rick's
witch.
comfort doll is now having a full-time appearance on the show.
Keep your eye on the ball. A little too little, acting.
Yeah, well.
He's sitting in.
One dummy replaces another.
Oh, you walked right into that. You walked right into that, man. Oh man.
Doug, you're like, it's like a beach ball and a 2x4 sometimes with you. I love it.
Yeah, I guess.
I think some of it is our expectations with Trump are so high, to clean all this stuff out, that you have every right to be upset like you are. I get it.
There's even a clip that I saw of him.
Bar is high.
Boy, if I could have seen your face when Trump jumped in today to that reporter's question, I was trying to think of if you were if you were like spasming on the floor, or if you were running around the house naked, or you ran outside down the street screaming. I tried to figure out what you were possibly doing at that moment. I couldn't come to it. But
I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Shut
Film
up,
at
Aaron.
11. Oh, boy. Pam Blondie wasn't the most articulate today, that's for sure.
She never is. She stinks
But
out loud. But she's nice to look at.
Look at all the stuff that's going on, though.
Paul's fault.
For a lesbian, Karine Jean-Pierre was not bad to look at. But when she opened her mouth and spoke, she was a moron.
Banana. 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Well, Joe Rogan tonight says, shout out to all the people that still don't believe in conspiracies. Your ability to stick to your guns is inspiring.
It's true. This thing has so much fuel, doesn't it? Just
Eric Erickson says there are a lot of people on the platform who developed large followings because they spread rumors and speculation about Jeffrey Epstein as truth. They are not having a normal one right now as Trump pulls the rug from under them. Well, I don't know. Is that what Trump did? Did Trump pull the rug? I mean, Trump's response wasn't really pulling the rug. Trump's response was almost like, why don't you people all go get a life and let's focus on the important things, which trafficking children, you would think would kind of land on the important scale. On
a huge scale.
So I don't know if he's just misreading the room. He's not up on this. He has no idea what his base feels about this, has no idea what actually this is all about. It was kind of a strange snap at the reporter. I mean, I don't think any of us overlook what's going on, the importance of what's going on in Texas, what's going on in our own government, what's going on with deportations, what we all voted for. I think everybody remembers all of that stuff and all the good stuff he's done in 6 months. I mean, today was just a very strange day to see the turn on the Epstein stuff, the amnesty stuff, and then the starting funds back to Ukraine. I saw people who I know voted for Trump 3 times. I know some who worked on the campaign who are going, I don't even know who this is I'm watching anymore.
Well, there's no funds going to Ukraine.
Well, that may be a little extreme.
That's an overreaction.
There's no funds going to Ukraine. It's weapons in exchange for minerals. That was the deal. They signed that a few months ago, right? Okay, so now we have an actual, and we talked about it at the time. It's like, oh, now we actually have skin in it. We have a reason now to kind of throw our weight around a little bit. It's because we have a security interest with this minerals deal. So the only thing they're not getting funds anymore. They're getting weapons.
Okay, I missed. So it said President Trump is going to resume aid to Ukraine. I read that as
funds.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, weapons.
It's weapons.
Is anyone happier with that?
I'm more okay with that than financing the little tyrant there, him and his wife and their lavish.
You don't want to send money. It's okay with sending weapons, I guess, but
sending weapons.
Yeah.
Here's some weapons. You guys, here's the instructions. Figure it out. See if you can use them.
President Trump is realizing that Putin is going to be a harder egg to crack than he originally thought when he said he'd have this thing done in 24 hours, even before he got into the White House, which now he says, I heard him say was sarcastic. He meant that. But I think he's now realizing that maybe this guy's a little more serious about taking all of Ukraine and he's going to be a little harder of an egg to crack, and that's not going to look good on them, and he doesn't want any part of that. And so maybe I'm sure that's factoring into his decision making here on weapons and whatever's going to come next.
Well, a couple of things on Trump that I think are bugging me, because I'm hearing people really, first Iran, people were reacting really strongly because they thought we were going to be in this war. A couple of things that may be happening or not happening regarding sending some weapons to Ukraine, or this amnesty thing that's going on. We voted for Trump to do a lot of things. And if you voted for Trump, you got to trust him, because I'm sure what he's dealing with isn't perfect. And sometimes he gets a curveball thrown at him. But you have to trust him. And his Epstein thing, it's just one of those things where I feel like if Trump wanted to push that story aside, there might be a reason for that. And I, for one, at least when I support someone, and I do support Trump and all the dynamics going on, I do trust him, like I did with the Iran thing. I knew that no matter what, he wasn't going to get us into a prolonged war, but people were freaking out that he was going to get us into a prolonged war.
I subscribe to that as well, Vin, with trusting him. I said that all throughout that war thing, and people said it was going to be this long thing. I said, This is his wheelhouse. His instincts is what we voted on him for.
Right.
But I carry that over to Bongino, too. I'm sorry. I just do. I think he's earned it. What he gave up to go do what he has to do now, I'm not so easily going to just throw him under the bus and cash as well.
Well, you know
Great point on both of those guys.
So when they go in there and say, yeah, we came in with all of these preconceived notions. We talked about it as much as anyone else. We heard all the other chatter. We saw what we thought was a big conspiracy here. And then they go in and they see stuff that none of us will ever be able to see, and look at the background on how all this was captured on the most sophisticated software they have in the world. Sit there on these computers they went in, whatever they did. I'm just not so easily to say, they're all in the tank now. They're all full of it.
I don't agree.
No.
I agree with everything you said there, because Cash and Bongino, I don't know. Everyone he's brought in, even Pam Bondi, probably lesser for her, but even her, this entire team that he has in the cabinet, they're all trying to bring the truth out and do the right thing. And Washington sucks. It's a slum. It's a swamp of corruption. And Trump's dealing with that on a daily basis and powering through it. I mean, you got to trust him. I think that's the bottom line. We talk about this in 3 months, and it's still kind of nonsense. Well, okay, then maybe they're up for criticism.
Well,
but
see, that's the problem. This story is not going away. He wants it to go away. His reaction today was, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's talk about this other stuff. And I'm sorry, Mr. President. Yeah, it's cut number 2. We'll do that in a second. But, Mr. President, this is not going away. And every time your AG, and I've heard other people talk about it, he keeps picking terrible AGs. And Damon was right. The Attorney General is the most important pick. And look at what she's doing. She is creating a bigger problem by opening her trap instead of sending somebody out who's better at this than she is. She is not good. She is not conveying the message. If the evidence was gone, she should have said, look, we got in there. Evidence was destroyed. We can't recover it. We're trying our best. We've got some people we're looking at. People would buy that, be like, okay, that sounds believable. But not this, it was all about protecting the kids. Shut up. We don't want to hear that. Here's cut number 2. Here is where she is burying this administration. Cut 2.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney, Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the death?
Yeah, sure.
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Yes. This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? Yes. That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas.
It's
it just
a tragedy
seems,
with Epstein. Yes.
Like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
We never asked.
To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing.
I'm not having the same problem with this as you.
And that's it on Epstein.
I respect where you're coming from. I'm not having the
What's
same
wrong
problem.
with that, Delgado?
I think Trump put a lid on it. I really do with that comment.
Oh, he did. He made it worse.
He put a lid on it.
This ain't going away.
We know that Epstein's a lowlife. That we can agree on, right?
Well, that, no, nobody's disputing that. Diddy Judy could not give a crap about Epstein. Delgado, get a life. Diddy Judy. Judy.
Am I a baby? I've been babyfied, yes. Here's the mug to prove it.
Cindy Mussel says, Damon, Slick, and sometimes Vinny, you guys sit there and laugh at Delgado, but this Epstein BS is about the violation of innocent children. This is why this action and just sweeping it under the rug is wrong. And we agree with that, for sure.
I just said that. Trump's reaction, duh.
Yeah, no, we agree with that. The Epstein is vile. He abused children. He met his maker. He's dealing with it right now.
Maybe.
Well, he met one of the makers. Could be the maker downstairs and the maker upstairs. You know, it's probably the guy downstairs.
Maybe the maker's Mark.
He destroyed a lot of lives. People committed suicide because of him. He's an absolutely vile human being. Having said that, who knows where all this information is or what it is? I mean, we really don't know. But we do know the FBI and CIA, before Trump got in, if they had a chance to use it, they would have, or they destroyed it because they didn't want to incriminate anyone. Or that's what we're dealing with. Or what?
They've got it. A different intelligence agency who, I believe, one of their former agents named Jeffrey Epstein as an asset way back. They have it.
Possibly. All those are possible.
Which is why when that reporter asked that question about the intelligence agency, you saw Trump kind of pipe up like, I got to try and put an end to this.
I saw someone said the whole reason they did the cabinet meeting was to get that question.
They might have.
I don't agree. I don't agree. There's too much to talk about. There's just too much going on. There's too much to talk about. Epstein is one of them. It's important. But is it more important than taking Putin down? Is it more important than getting all these tariffs taken care of? Is it more important? It certainly is with all the children that have been hurt. But there's a lot going on. And then the Texas thing. Oof. I mean, I think, there's just a lot going on.
No, I understand that. There's so much going on.
Oh. Yeah, there. I don't know. I do trust Trump. So at the end of the day,
I do too.
I'm going to follow that.
I understand.
Until it proves wrong, and I don't think it's going to prove wrong.
I don't think he'd be covering anything up. No way. No. No.
Why would he not want to get Epstein?
To his benefit
either? Why would he not?
But his response is bizarre. Though.
It is bizarre,
right?
Yeah.
That response is bizarre. 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Slick's going to do sports here right now. Delgado's going to do some news. Vinnie Mac's got some thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Aaron and Fran holding it down as always on a Tuesday. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. We'll be at the America First Warehouse on Friday night. So if you're in the Long Island area or on the Northeast within a couple hours, if you want to drive and see us at the America First Warehouse, it's always a good time. All 6 of us, of course, are there. Kevin Downey Jr., who will be on the show tomorrow night as well, will be there, obviously, on Friday.
Yeah.
Love seeing the audience. Love meeting all of you. Those of you who have come already to the warehouse, it's been absolutely great. I think we've done 6, 7 shows there now, and we'll be back on Friday after having off the 4th. And we're looking forward to it. So we'll see you at the America First Warehouse, hopefully sometime over the summer, if you can make it up here to this area. It's a great time. It's a great place, great people, and it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Slick, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Speaking of great people, LFS6B is the code to use at checkout if you're going to shop at MyPillow. It'll give you a great savings. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, Wimbledon, the quarterfinals in the books. We're going to talk about the men this segment. Carlos Alcaraz, world #1, cruises past Cam Norrie into Wimbledon semis. ESPN News Services. The 2-time defending champion, Carlos Alcaraz, reached the Wimbledon semifinals by beating unseeded Cam Norrie, the last British player in either singles bracket, 6-2, 6-3, 6-3 on Tuesday. Made easy work there. Alcaraz extended his career-best winning streak to 23 matches, the longest tour-level win streak by any man 22 or younger since Juan Martin del Potro won 23 straight matches in 2008 from Stuttgart to the U.S. Open as a 19-year-old. Alcaraz turned 22 in May. Second-seeded Alcaraz making his 5th main draw appearance, improved to 23-2 at Wimbledon among men to debut in the Open era. It's amazing. Only Bjorn Borg, the great Bjorn Borg, has more match wins in his first 5 appearances at the All England Club. He's going to take on American Taylor Fritz, who's the first American to make it to the semifinals since 2018. So been a minute since we've had an American in the semi. So we shall see. Obviously, we'll report on that as well. I'll get to the women in my next sports segment. Another story I wanted to get to. Netflix show reveals Joe Burrow canceled $3 million purchase after home burglary. This is Clark Dalton of Yardbarker. Joe Burrow nixed an enormous purchase after his home was burglarized last season. In the season 2 of Netflix's Quarterback, released on Tuesday, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback revealed that he canceled plans to purchase a replica Batmobile for $3 million. Imagine having $3 million to buy a replica Batmobile.
I'd do it.
Oh, man. I know you would.
I would totally do it.
Burrow first told Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins he had bought the Batmobile during a December episode of HBO's Hard Knocks in season with the AFC North and seemed giddy about the purchase. His excitement waned after the break-in. I didn't end up getting the Batmobile because, I just had other things I wanted to deal with at that point, Burrow said. The show also revealed the 28-year-old QB considered moving from his mansion. We'll see if I end up moving or not, Burrow told former Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. Now the whole world knows where I live, but that hasn't really been fun to deal with. That's a problem, According to Baby legal records show, Burrow hasn't sold his house, which he purchased for $7.5 million in 2023, just before signing a 5-year, $275 million contract extension. You think he could afford a $7.5 million home on $275? Man, anyway, good stuff there. So Joe Burrow, he nixed the Batmobile, so hopefully he'll find a way to get that back. So I know it's kind of an insignificant story compared to what we're talking about tonight, but I wanted to lighten things up a little bit. Big D, the great Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, one of the best to do it. Hopefully he'll come back from his injuries and have a good season because they could use something good to happen in Cincinnati because my Reds aren't doing anything to make anything good happen in Cincinnati. And Big D, that would be a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Let's do some headlines. Brought to you by Eternal Life Coin. Our friends at eternallifecoin.com, all one word. Check it out. It's a great piece. Rick Delgado's got the headlines. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, you read.
Should I say headline?
You read the one big headline that was just breaking just before the show. FBI launching a criminal investigation of former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey, according to DOJ sources. That's the headline. As for the next headline, nobody still believes that Epstein killed himself.
Oh, boy.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
And nobody believes what Pam Bondi said today.
Pam Bondi.
No. I'll give you an example. Michael Knowles doesn't believe it.
Michael Knowles?
Calling BS.
Yeah, Michael's sharp.
Glenn Beck.
Michael Knowles?
Yes,
Friend of the
Michael
show,
Knowles.
Michael
Friend of the
Knowles?
show.
Friend of the show.
First
Great Michael
guest ever on
Ever.
Live from Studio 6B, Michael Knowles.
I remember
watched
that
him-
day.
I watched him talk
You
about
gotta
it
get him
today.
on. You got to get him back.
Glenn Beck, calling BS.
Okay.
Brandon Straka, calling BS. Tucker Carlson, calling BS.
Well, they don't even believe Epstein did any of this stuff. Tucker had
Matt
someone
Gaetz,
on today. Crazy.
journalists Nick Bryant and Jonathan Sager, calling BS. Harry Enton, no, I'm kidding about it.
Harry Oates calling
He's
it
climbing
To
a
the
pole.
TV board.
Patrick Bet David, calling BS. I think he was more upset with Pam Bondi, though, to be honest with you, because he didn't have nice things to say about her.
Okay.
And even CNN, Cut 3, Jake Tapper
Oh, boy.
is not buying the story being pitched by Pam Bondi. Cut 3.
Alex, I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions about this. I kind of don't buy the nothing to see here, and I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m., 58 seconds, and 12 a.m., the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died.
Yeah. So that minute is missing, and now we're supposed to believe that, oh, that happens all the time. It's part of the program. That's what it does. It's been doing it since 1998.
1999, I saw that.
BS. You know what else is a big tell, huge tell? People that have talked about this all the time, Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld. On the 5, last 2 days, I've been watching and paying attention to what topics they talk about. Monday's topics, Texas flood. That's understandable. Elon Musk starting a third party. ICE agents under attack. Zoan the Destroyer identifying as black on his college form. No Epstein. That was yesterday.
Listen, we all know
Today.
what happened at 11:59 in the minute that's missing.
Pretty
it's
obvious.
the only plausible.
Today, more Texas flood.
Rick, it's right here, the missing minute.
Immigration and violence from the left with 10 arrested. Even that's more believable than what
that's what
they're
happened.
pitching
That's
us.
the missing minute.
Exactly
That's
what's
it
going to
right
happen.
there.
Makes sense to
Most
me.
plausible answer we have.
What did they talk about today? They didn't talk about Epstein. They talked about more of the Texas flood, immigration, and the violence from the left. The leaked memo about Biden advisors telling him to debate early. Like, that's a big story. Nobody cares about that. Netanyahu nominating Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Who gives a crap? Nobody cares.
We're going to need medication here very quickly.
Liberals politicizing the Texas flood. Big whoop. They do that all the time. What did we find out from? They didn't talk about Epstein again. They're on lockdown. Meanwhile, what do you have? Their most high-profile and viral moment White House reporter, right? He asked the question yesterday, and the clip goes nuclear, and nothing. Crickets from Fox News. Their own guy. It's almost like a disavow. We're going to disavow, what's his name? What is
Ducey?
Ducey, yeah.
The press conference?
I always forget his name.
You almost had
you're
us.
just so off the rails right now. That's why you can't remember.
That's why I can't
anything.
remember it.
Rant.
And then,
This is supposed to be news.
just before I
still have
leave
a
to
show
come
after
here,
this.
this is news because I'm going to lose my. I see Trump, a clip of President Trump. I think I even retwixted it of him talking about the list, saying there's some very big people on there.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, let's see it.
I don't have it. I didn't. It was late, and I wasn't going to send it to Erin because she would have cut my head off.
How do we know it exists then?
That would have been a good start for the show.
But here is okay. Let's do a cut from yesterday that I didn't get to. Cut number 10. Here's Alina Habba on the Epstein list back in February. Before I guess
but
they
in this
changed the
case, in
narrative.
Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court, but again, now it's time for accountability.
Yeah, accountability we're never going to see. Even Megyn Kelly came out and calls BS on this.
Here is the clip that I believe you're talking about. I got it for you since you were not able to get it. I believe it's this one.
Yes, this is it.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, it endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But, yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had no problem with it.
Well, maybe he actually looked at it and said, what's the point of this? This is not what everybody made it out to be.
That's possible.
This is not, there's not even real names in here. It just says person one or this guy or this company name or this.
Well, let's see. Prince Andrew is listed.
Is that ever possible in anybody's world?
Prince Andrew is listed. Bill Clinton is listed. According to this article from The Independent, Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton were among more than 100 people named in legal documents linked to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The disclosure of the court files includes the names of victims, friends, and associates, which, again, you don't want to include the names of victims. We get that. Or people that are just friends with somebody who had nothing to do with it. We get that. The millionaire financier who socialized with royalty and celebrities was accused of running a large network of underage girls for sex. While awaiting trial, he killed himself. Yeah, remember that one. In his jail cell 2019. As a matter of fact, they released a video. As you saw, we played it. You can't see anything on the video because there's nothing on the video. Because it's not of the actual area that his cell was. Anyhow, but don't worry, Virginia Giuffre, who was a prominent, outspoken victim of Epstein and some of his friends, surprisingly died by suicide just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. But no. We're just because Mr. Trump is upset that we're talking about it. This reminds me of the John Rich story, right? John Rich telling President Trump, because Trump is like, why do people get mad at me about talking about the vaccine at a rally? He goes, because Mr. Trump, he goes, I would boo you. That was not good. Nobody is happy with the vaccine. He didn't understand that. I feel like he might be in the same area here with the Epstein thing, that he's not understanding that people are not very happy that he's just going to try and brush this away because his people have said, hey, there's nothing to see here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Look up the John Rich clip and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because Trump didn't understand why he was getting booed at his own rallies whenever he mentioned the COVID vaccine.
All right, live from Studio 6B, more news, hopefully coming up right after this. Might feel better if you just come out and say,
I'm not wrong.
Just say, maybe I was off a little bit.
I'm not
and
wrong.
Then take a nice deep breath.
Like I said, 7 out of 10.
You
I'm
might
there.
feel better. That's all I'm saying.
7 out of 10, by the way, is pretty awesome.
It's pretty good.
So,
Yeah.
But this one is so vile and disgusting.
300 average, Hall of Fame.
This one is vile and disgusting because
Exactly.
Epstein's vile and disgusting. I get it. But for the most part, we're getting what we voted for. And some of these things might not be consistent with that, but it's not like he's caved on all sorts of things. He hasn't.
He hasn't. And even the what was the other thing he said? Oh, David Copperfield is also on that list, by the way.
Yeah, but was he on
David
it, or did he make it
Copperfield.
disappear?
Ghislaine Maxwell, her father basically, I guess he was the Jeffrey Epstein before Jeffrey Epstein. He ran this network. According to a former Mossad agent, he was Mossad.
And Trump, Trump got that vaccine going so fast with the way he mobilized everything. Turned out everyone around him lied. So
through the nose.
I can see him wanting to take credit.
I know, Goose Fraba.
Yeah.
Right in the nose.
Serenity now.
Out the mouth.
Woosah.
There you go.
Woosah. Woosah. No, I'm fine.
Delgado.
If you think I'm letting this go, you're out of your tree.
No, Super chat. Somebody gave us $100
we could see
for
that.
you to leave. No, we didn't get that yet.
It's a pretty split crowd I'm seeing on Facebook, between
Troy Malone's going to do $100.
Delgado and going too far or not. I mean,
Damon, let him rant. Well, I mean, what the hell did I just do for 14 minutes?
Give him his own show. We just did. We gave him his own show tonight. A lot of people in the Getter chat agreed with you.
I forgot to get in the Getter chat.
Yeah, the Getter chat, the Rav Getter chat. A lot of people were agreeing with you there.
Because they're sane. They're not liberal.
Well, the liberals are up to such bad
incensed
stuff.
Like some liberal.
More like 46 minutes, Damon.
Who's counting?
Exactly. Big D, please take control of your show. Forget that.
Hey, and Trump threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. He wasn't
I understand.
there. I mean,
I get it.
He did do some
we
stuff.
We know this, which is why this.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's going to do some news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Vinnie Mac is here. Vinnie Mac, what's on your mind besides everything we've talked about so far?
Yeah, a lot of things completely different than what we've talked about. And I talk about this next story or this next thing that I picked up or want to talk about and send it out to all the farmers in this country, the hardworking people in 100-degree heat and humidity right now that are farming wheat, that are farming all sorts of stuff. They're working really hard for our country, for our food supply, for all of these things. It's the heart and soul of our country in many ways, our farmers. And they have been victimized because of lax policies regarding the Chinese. And the Chinese have gone out and they bought a lot of farmland, not a little. This is not like a 1%er kind of deal. Well, they announced today the National Farm Security Action Plan, which the U.S. Department of Agriculture actually announced that, which basically now is going to start limiting China ownership of farms, especially near military bases and so on, but it's going to expand to go beyond that. And we have seen in the last 4 years, Chinese nationals completely infiltrate this country. They are everywhere. They're in everything. We're finally doing some things about it. Pete Hegseth, expressed concern about this, big time because they're right by our military installations. Like, sure, buy farmland next to one of our military destinations, installations, and then put a drone up there and see what's going on. Right? This is what's going on. It's so stupid. How it was allowed to happen is beyond me. So that's one thing that caught my eye, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The other thing that caught my eye is we've been talking a lot about the corruption and who was running the Biden campaign. The Biden presidency. There were many, many people around. We talked about the auto pen thing. We've talked about all these other people that are in and around him. My view of it has always been Jill Biden. I believe Jill was deeply behind all of these things. There were other bad actors in there trying to make decisions, and a new book has come out now, and it's pointing the finger at Jill Biden. And if you look at the behavior of Jill Biden, you see it. It's right there. She sat in a cabinet meeting. She actually led a cabinet meeting. So here we are looking at a controversy, which the Our House is investigating Biden, all the people in the Biden administration, his doctor, everybody who worked on these things. But to me, the real culprit, the one who can really enable this, the one who probably protected Joe through this, but then took advantage of the power, was Jill, Dr. Jill Biden, who's in the middle of this controversy. And now books are coming out. People are starting to talk up, and it's great to see and it's great to hear, because this is one of the biggest travesties we've seen, I think, in any presidency. Like, we don't mind first ladies getting involved, and if it was a female president, a first male getting involved, I mean, I think that's kind of cool. They have, obviously a place in things, and they should be involved in things, but they should not be making decisions on major policy. They should not be pardoning people left and right for we're using an auto pen, by the way. And she's been kind of busted with that, because there's 2 different signatures. There's a lot of smoke here that points to her and a few other people. So that's been on my mind. And the last thing on my mind is this anti-Semitism in this country has gotten out of control. It's everywhere. We're seeing it in so many institutions. The Anti-Defamation League, used to know the chairman of the Anti-Defamation League, which basically was out there to try and protect anti-Semitism from spreading further. And it's shocking that we're even talking about this. Anti-Semitism spreading in 2025? I mean, what? Well, how did this possibly happen? Well, the largest teachers union in the United States just cut ties with the Anti-Defamation League because of their pro-Israel and anti-Semitic support. They cut ties with them. This is why our kids are in universities, in high schools, and in grammar schools are being tainted with this absolutely obscene, progressive, liberal rhetoric. And you wonder why all this anti-Semitism is happening, because these people are enabling it. And they go as far as just dropping the Anti-Defamation League over their support. It's disturbing. It's profoundly disturbing. It's one of the things that everyone in our country should be outraged over, because it's not right. It's not fair, and it's tainting our country, and we've seen the effects of that. So those are a couple of things that have been on my mind, Damon, that would drive me crazy outside of Epstein.
Go.
Keeping away from that right now.
All right, 8 minutes to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Here's something that should be on everybody's radar, and you talk about things that are as important, if not more important, than the Epstein stuff that's going on right now currently, would be this clip and what this leads to, because this is not the answer you want from Tom Homan on this question. Here it is.
He's been very vocal. He wants to do something with farm work and hospitality industry. So there's some discussions ongoing with that now. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on those decisions. But worksite enforcement, it's like everything else we do, is based on prioritization. Worksite enforcement, there's a lot of criminal leads on worksite enforcement, whether it concerns sex trafficking or forced labor trafficking, abuse of the aliens that are working for them. And so we concentrate on the criminal aspect of worksite enforcement. They're always going to remain the priority. So worksite enforcement continue, but based on prioritization. But there is some discussion going on about farmers. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on that, but I know the
So there's going to be a work program for people who are here illegally?
I don't think that decision has been made yet. Again, I don't want to get ahead of the president of that decision. But one thing, he's been very vocal. He wants to do something with.
The last 5 seconds of that are the parts to focus in on.
Yep.
Martha McCallum. So there's going to be a work program for people who are here illegally. Tom Homan's answer, I would have suspected, would have been no. People voted for mass deportations. Doesn't matter where you're working. His answer was, I don't think a decision has been made yet. I don't want to get ahead of the president.
You're looking at me, because we haven't heard the president say anything about this. And until he says it, I'm going to let these people, maybe they hear rumblings.
We haven't heard the president say anything about this. Did you watch the rally on Saturday?
No.
Okay.
I went to a Beach Boys concert, man.
That's right. He's floated this trial balloon at least 2 or 3 times in public.
What did he say?
About farmers, and that the farmers can make better decisions about their help than maybe the federal government can.
I heard that too.
Knowing that they're here illegally. And he talked about it again at the rally on Saturday.
Yeah.
And as I said yesterday, I don't know how you passed this big, beautiful bill that supercharges ICE to go do exactly what everybody voted for, and then you follow it up with this discussion that continues to go on. With John McCain, Gang of Eight, old Marco Rubio talking points here of amnesty. That's what it is. There's no other word to apply. They can tell us it's not that. They're not. You can say no amnesty as much as they want. That is a concerning answer from Tom Homan, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the question is, so there's going to be a work program for people here illegally, the answer you would think would be a very easy no.
You would think.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do something for farmers, but this is misguided. To your point, it is amnesty.
Yeah,
can't sugarcoat it.
You got a lot of people on, who don't work.
And this is, again, something that has to be brought to the man at the top.
Yep.
He has to be asked about it directly.
Yep.
Very directly for a very direct answer. All right, that's a wrap. Hour 1, hour 2 coming back right after this. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Tuesday. Glad you're in.
On these illegals, though, I look at getting them off Social Security, getting them off Medicaid, deporting the criminals and deporting them back in mass numbers. Big wins. This thing with the farmers, I don't agree with. And I think you're right. Let's let the big guy say it if it's true and see what he has to say about it. He's testing it. He's floating it out there. There's a reason he's doing that. But to the 7 out of 10 deal there, Mr. Delgado, Medicaid, Social Security, deporting criminals, money in there now to deport the rest of the people in big numbers.
No tax on tips.
Well, I'm talking about the immigrant thing.
Talking about not incentivizing them to come in. Yeah, right. Take away the incentives.
Taking all the incentives away, and big wins. We voted for that. He did it. Awesome. This is a crack in the armor, if true. Not something I like or would even support. So I'm going to hold my breath on this one until I hear him say it for himself. And then, it's true, we'll be upset. It happens. I don't know of any administration that's had as many wins as this guy's had in all of their tenure. Not forget that first 6 months. So we're doing pretty damn well.
The debt increased $367 billion on Monday. One day.
Wow. Well, you got interest rates there that are part of that, right? I mean,
brutal.
It's brutal.
Brutal.
He's got to get that. I mean, that's going to be the hardest things to do. He's got to get that down big. He needs to cut that more than in half. I mean, we're betting on the revenue and the economy growing to such a point he has the money to do it. And there'll be more cuts. Did you hear all that conversation about more cuts and reconciliation bills and all that stuff? I mean, he doesn't get those votes without making those deals, I don't think.
the deal. If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
All right, Joe, thanks. You are watching live from Studio 6B, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's going to take some deep breaths.
Yep. Even that was more believable, that he made that cut for us than what Bondi said.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
46.
I know, Joe. I was there when he did the recording. What are you making it sound like it's... What are you talking about?
Like it's not highly edited. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He was at a Baskin Robbins with him when he did that. Come on.
Went in with
How
him.
many scoops, Joe?
Come on. Vinny Max here. He's got some thoughts on some things in hour two. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. There is other news to talk about today. And one of the things we can talk about is the Supreme Court, because even though they're supposed to be on vacay, we got a ruling today. And then some of these rulings, I don't know. I mean, it's just way above my head, but it just seems to me on the most basic level, it's amazing that we're talking about some of these rulings on some of these subjects. Oh, the president is going to be allowed to determine how big the government is. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Didn't know that we needed your opinion or advice or, I mean, it's just these rulings are just crazy. But what's really crazy is the, and unfortunately, it's not really a laughing matter. It is crazy, and unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with her, is this lightweight put on the court by the most infirmed man to ever hold the office. Of course, that was Joe Biden, and that's Ketanji Brown Jackson, who has at this point almost lost the other liberals on the court at this point. This decision was 8-1. She's the one.
It's really insane.
Even
really
Sotomayor, in her opinion today, takes issue with Ketanji Brown Jackson, and we saw the scathing issue that was in the previous opinion, and all of them signed on to it to put it out with that in it. We talked about.
Yeah,
that was written by who was the ACB.
Yeah. Amy
Coney Barrett just torched her, and all the other ones signed on to it, which at the time we pointed out, boy, to have the 6 other justices sign on to that opinion that just torches her as a moron was stunning. I mean, this one may not be as stunning, but I guess it is somewhat just because of who it came from, and that's her colleague on her side of the aisle. That I even have to say that is crazy, on her side of the aisle. It's not supposed to be an aisle. With these 9,
there's no side she's on because she's so whacked.
So, that's whacked. The thing. So she's either such a lightweight and in over her head, which is possible, or she thinks that she's going to burn down the country through her decisions and through wearing the black robe on this, which is even more dangerous and also plausible. Either one's not good.
Right. Basically, what she is, she's like the lower court judge.
Yes.
That we're seeing across the country, all these lower court judges. She just happens to be one of those lower court judges that sits in a bigger court. That's all she is.
That's exactly who she is.
And you're right. She is a complete lightweight.
And as we know, Biden put her there, of course, because of the color of her skin. That's why she's there.
Right.
Not because of her. Not because of her past. Opinions, not because of her judicial brilliance that we've ever seen on display, not because of some landmark case that nothing. She's there because she was a black woman. And I don't know what her sexual orientation is, but if he knew that, I'm sure that factored in too. However many boxes he could have checked with her is what he was looking for. That's why she's there.
I don't even think he nominated her. I think his team around him nominated her. He just rubber stamped it because everything they did was hardcore progressive liberal stuff. This was not a middle of the road presidency. No. I don't think he had any clue at that level.
Andrea Weiberg today in the American Thinker says this woman's lunatic dissent, as it was 8-1, she's a 1 on an island all by herself now. The lunatic dissent she issued to a Supreme Court order that stayed a California district judge's ruling blocking President Trump from ordering agency heads to produce plans for possible reductions in force. What makes Jackson's dissent even crazier than its lack of any intellectual foundation is her open hostility to her fellow justices and to the President of the United States. And of course, as remember, this all began when Trump ordered Executive Order 14210, implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency Workforce Optimization Initiative. In the order, Trump stated that he wanted to begin a critical transformation of the federal bureaucracy. Every president has done this, every one. He would do this by eliminating waste, bloat, and fraud. To that end, he asked the Director of Office and Management and Budget, OMB, which of course is Russ Vought, and the heads of various agencies to submit plans for shrinking the federal workforce. The stated purpose was to reorganize plans that would make the federal government fulfill its statutory functions more efficiently and affordably. The American Federation of Government Employees, a union that exists only because John F. Kennedy made a promise to the mob, was aghast at the thought that the federal bureaucracy might shrink. So they went to a friendly court in North Carolina, because this is what they do. They go judge shopping. And this judge obliged by holding that executive order was unlawful. And the administration sought to have the order stayed pending appeal to the Ninth Circuit, a request both the district court and the Ninth Circuit refused. However, the Supreme Court granted the stay. What's so amazing is that the Supreme Court's order has an intelligent concurrence from Justice Sotomayor. Both the order and the concurrence make it clear that the question isn't whether the ultimate plans to shrink the bureaucracy are legitimate. Instead, as Sotomayor writes, Trump is likely to win on his right to issue an executive order that directs agencies to plan reorganizations and reductions in force consistent with applicable law. He cannot be stopped from having the OMB and the agency heads continue to make those plans. So in other words, Trump says, let's get this ready. Let's make some plans. Let's see how we can do this. This group runs to this judge. The judge says, oh, it's unlawful. Well, he hasn't implemented them. He said, let's get the plans for them. So she writes this dissent in an 8-1 judgment, 8-1, and her whole dissent as if the cuts have already been made. And Sotomayor says, what the hell are you looking at, basically? He's asking them to put a plan together for what would be the cuts. Any president, of course, is allowed to do that. That can't be questioned, which, of course, is entirely correct. So this woman is just...
Her platform is obstruct. I mean, I think
It's even more devious than that.
The Senate voted her in. What was that vote? I mean, who voted for her? We know the Democrats did. What Republicans voted for her?
Plenty.
Plenty of them.
Plenty. Well, there you go. They stink. They should be removed just like she should be, to allow someone like this with the qualifications just aren't there. If you want to argue that Trump put in these conservative justices, and he did. Conservative, by the way, is we follow the Constitution, the one document that governs our entire being as a country. That's reality. But they all were qualified. They all were qualified to be Supreme Court justices. There's not one of them that did not have the proper qualifications in writing dissents and being a judge and having the experience and doing all of that stuff. Not one of them. But this woman had none of that. And our Republican guy still voted, and she got in. So there's blood on a lot of hands here. The Senate, Joe Biden, the minions, protecting him, her. I don't know. Can you impeach a Supreme Court justice? I mean, is there a way to actually have someone removed?
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's the only way.
What grounds do you need to do that?
Two-thirds. You need two-thirds of both houses, I believe.
Yeah, stupid.
Good luck.
Is a good one.
Big numbers to do it.
Right. We can't even,
Well, we can barely
get votes on. We can't even get majority votes on rules to actually get to the vote.
It's an embarrassment, though. Every decision, every one, she's had an embarrassing viewpoint. It's embarrassing for the country to have someone this biased and this dumb in our Supreme Court, the highest court in the land.
Yeah, she went full in. You're not supposed to go full.
You're
never supposed to go full.
I totally with you.
Yeah.
Totally.
By the way, she ends this by saying that, I wonder if the Supreme Court justices have ever sent an urgent back channel message to Congress asking that one of their own be impeached.
Yeah.
If they haven't before, they maybe contemplate doing it now. And given how poorly Jackson is performing, thereby demeaning the court, blacks and women, a wise Democrat would side with impeachment. But of course, they're not going to do that.
No.
And by the way, she doesn't know what a woman is, so we should be careful on saying,
Unbelievable.
We don't even know what she knows or what she thinks she even is.
What a sham.
Who knows?
It's a sham to our government, how corrupt it is, that she actually got voted in and she got nominated. It's just a total sham. Nobody cares, particularly Democrats. I mean, the Democrats do not care about the future of this country. They do not care about things being right, about things being followed based on our Constitution. They don't care. Matter of fact, what do they care about? Division. Someone posted something on Facebook earlier. They're like, the Democrats want to start like a civil war. They want to do this, they want to do that. Yeah, maybe it's extreme, but they live on division. This woman is divisive as it gets. But they live on division. This is what they've been running on. So we've been talking about.
Vin, you got to be careful with that. She might not identify as divisive.
She
yeah.
True. Doesn't know what divisive is.
Could be.
So I'm reminded as I just did a quick search. All 50 Democrats, of course, supported her. You know who the Republicans were?
Yes, I want to know.
There was only 3. That's less than I remembered. I thought it was more than that.
I like that.
But it was 3. You know who they were? Take a guess.
I'll say Mitch McConnell.
No.
What's her name out of Alaska?
Murkowski, Collins.
Susan Collins.
Collins.
Lisa Murkowski. And
Lindsey Graham.
Nope.
Oh, I know the other one. I just
Murkowski,
can't
Collins.
think of the name. I'm going to throw it away. I don't know.
Epstein?
Our favorite banker who used to be from Boston who moved to Utah.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Mitt
Mitch.
Romney?
There you go.
Oh, Mitt
Romney. Yes.
Mitt Romney.
Not Mitch.
They voted as blind sheep, supporting the Democrats that they are, even though they say they're Republicans.
53-47 was the final vote. Those were the 3 Republicans.
Wow.
Collins, Murkowski, and Romney.
Yeah, good. How do you like those votes now? Vote them all out.
They love them.
Yeah.
Every one of them vote out.
Vin, you make it seem like Murkowski and Collins are unhappy with her. They're ecstatic. That's exactly what they wanted. They got taken care of.
All right, more sports news all coming up. Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night.
Super chat in the YouTube. Clint Paraguay, $4.99. I am behind on the show. Had to pause, but Delgado 100% right on Pam Bondi.
Hello.
She's not credible and awful with her communication. So there you go, Clint Paraguay.
Yes. Thank you, Clint.
Clint. And let's see.
Redemption there.
Clint, you're a brilliant man. Denny 2A in the Rumble rant says you have to think in terms of counter deep state. I considered that, Denny. Trump will not leave this earth without making the deep state pay. We will all be cheering in 2 years. I hope you're correct.
I think that's
Denny
an angle.
2A. For $20 in the Rumble rant.
I think it's an angle, though. I mean, to me, it's a legit angle. If he's
it is.
He needs a weapon, and he's got one. If
he's going to use it to twist arms and get what he wants, but I still want to see people exposed. They shouldn't be allowed to walk away from this just because they gave him what he wanted.
Another YouTube, Laura Bordas, $5. There is an investigation to see if any of Biden's appointments and even executive orders are binding. So that's there is an investigation.
That's going to be tough to prove.
I know.
That's going to be tough to prove, but I have to say, it has to happen. this is just outrageous. If we get another president in that the same nonsense happens, all of a sudden there's a license to do this. There's this license to auto-pen it out. Let's just elect really old men and women that can't do anything, and then we'll just auto-pen everything. I mean, think of the president. They have to do something here. It's just outrageous. It's outrageous. I'm sort of on the Epstein, vile side of being upset about that particular issue, like you are with Epstein there, Delgado, because this is the biggest violation of trust. Well, it's one of the biggest I've ever seen.
It's huge. Huge.
Let's see what's going on here on Facebook. All the Facebook peeps. I saw a good. Did you see the story about Long Island? No. Oh.
Yeah.
There was like 15 cop cars came flying in. It was a hot mess over there. That was yesterday. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it on News 12.
That's something we need to talk about across the country. Is how they're being treated, ICE, because it is lunatics.
Yeah, we had those 10 people arrested, 10, 12 people arrested. Now their pictures are out there. They've been identified. They're being charged with attempted murder.
Good. Take them all down. Janine Bendowski says,
Well, sound like the blues. This month, Tax Network USA proudly celebrates our nation's birthday, honoring freedom, resilience, and financial independence. To mark the occasion, they're offering 10% off all their services through July 4th. Well, guess what? That's passed. So I don't know if they're keeping that going, but you could find out. What do you mean it's the wrong read? Yeah, it's the wrong read. If you're stressed about back taxes, maybe you missed the April 15th deadline, or your books are a mess. Don't wait. The IRS is cracking down. Penalties add up fast, 5% per month, up to 25% for not filing. But there is help. Tax Network USA can take the burden off your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee, a small business owner, or haven't filed in years. Messy books? Well, no problem. They've seen it all, and they know exactly how to clean it up. With direct access to powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators on your side, Tax Network USA knows how to win. You get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. More importantly, they'll help protect you from wage garnishments and bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Call them right now, 1-800-905-8000, 1-800-905-8000, or visit tnusa.com/RAV, tnusa.com/RAV, and talk to a real expert over at Tax Network USA. Take the pressure off. Let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues. Go right now, tnusa.com/RAV, tnusa.com/RAV, or call 1-800-905-8000. All right, folks, it's America's birthday, and you know how we do it here at Studio 6B. We love the fireworks, the parades, the red, white, and blue, but the real way to celebrate, of course, is to stand up and fight for the country. That's exactly what AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is doing every single day. They're leading the charge to defend faith, family, and freedom, and, of course, to push back against the nonsense that's trying to tear the country apart. And right now, AMAC is making it easy for you to jump in and help. In honor of Independence Day, you can get 5 full years of an AMAC membership for just $35. 5 full years of AMAC membership for $35. I didn't do good math, but my math tells me that's about $7 a year. $7 a year. That's 5 years of their magazine, exclusive discounts, free resources, but most importantly, 5 years of being part of a national movement that's got your back and believes in America. Don't sit this one out. Go to amac.us/studio6B right now and join. amac.us/studio6B and join. Celebrate the great nation and protect it together. amac.us/studio6B. Go there now. amac.us/studio6B. 5 years for $35. All right, 20 minutes past the hour. I mean, I don't even know how you do a deal like that. That's just ridiculous. 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS 6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. If you got a kid going to college like I do, and you want to make sure he's got a mattress topper and some good pillows to get a good night's sleep on those first nights away from home.
Yeah.
And towels.
And towels.
That's right.
My wife was showing him the shower caddy that she got for him.
I'm sure that.
I could have videotaped this description.
Oh, really?
I mean, you would think. I mean, just how about just carry your soap and just. Well, you could put your phone in here. You could do this, you could do that. Just,
So there was a whole. There was
here's your moisturizer.
There was a whole presentation. There was
oh my God!
Oh, really?
Was she modeling things like, okay, you can hang it here, you can hang it there, you can put
Oh
this
yeah,
in there.
yeah. You put your phone in here, so if you want to.
Are you getting him the soap on a rope? That's him.
Oh, now don't
I don't
go
know what
there.
she's doing. I'm not
going to jail.
Don't ask me.
He's going to college.
Yeah, I understand, but you don't know what the situation. You know, you don't want to lose your soap.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put the rope?
I did not know that.
Don't go back to that story, please.
Weird, wacky
Hey,
stuff.
speaking of my lovely wife, let me just say right now, happy anniversary, honey.
Wow.
When is that? Tomorrow?
Happy
Right, you're
anniversary.
off tomorrow.
Oh,
Right?
that's right. You're off tomorrow night.
Because we're going to go out.
Oh, how
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Beautiful.
You gonna sit down at Wendy's or do the drive-through? Which one
20
are you gonna do?
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Drive-through.
20?
20 years tomorrow, and that's enough. I know she's not listening, so I can joke.
You were doing pretty well there.
Yeah.
Hey, but your parents are listening. They don't want to hear that.
It sounded like it was from the heart and everything.
My parents,
Yeah.
50. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say they say it's
53, and believe me, both of them think enough.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, 20 years, though.
I'm sure the restaurant's going to be nice. Damon's going to carry
He's
the
not
tray.
taking it to a restaurant.
He's going to carry the tray for her back
Yeah.
to the table.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Get that chicken tartare.
Going to a nice restaurant? You got nice plans going out east? We don't want to tell anybody where because there'll be stalkers. But
There's not going to be any
Are you going to get the
what?
Are you going to get the dips? Yeah. Are you going to get
dips?
like
With the
multiple, like
McNuggets?
sweet and sour?
I got enough
barbecue.
dip here. Every night. I don't need any more.
I can't say the second half.
So
of that.
happy anniversary, honey. 20 years.
Yes, happy anniversary.
Well done.
Wow.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Beautiful wife and
Yes.
a great family.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Congratulations.
55. My parents are, I think, 55.
55. Cinque.
Wow.
Cinque.
Yeah.
Is she getting you a shower caddy too? For
Yeah.
your anniversary gift.
Honey, I got two. One for college and one
Wait,
for you.
there's more. Act
There was
now.
there was a deal.
And look what you can put here. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we leave for the Sphere in the morning.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Sure.
Just kidding. All right, 23 past the hour. Did we just do sports?
No.
We haven't
We
done
talked about it.
Oh, I didn't get there.
That was
We're getting
segment
there.
3.
I'm getting off at the next stop, though, okay? Driving a bus over here.
Oh, God, I'm losing
okay.
it. All right, let's do sports here. Sports is brought to you by, I think I already said, Mike Lindell. God, go buy stuff. That's how I got into this. Your kid going to college. Yes.
You did. There you go.
Slick.
Well, yeah, before
Do
we
the
get to the
sports.
scoreboard, Jeffrey Epstein was. Oh, you got Major League Baseball scores. Here we go, Big D. We haven't got to the
5.
scoreboard. We're an hour and 23 minutes in. We got the Orioles right now leading the Mets 6-2, top of the 8th. Bottom 6, Yankees up 4-0, blanking the Mariners. Red Sox 10-0 over the Rockies, bottom of the 8th. Top 8, the Marlins are mauling the Reds, and I mean mauling them. 10-1. The Twins over the Cubs 2-0, bottom 7. Also bottom 7, Brewers lead the Dodgers 2-1. Royals edging the Pirates 3-2, top of the 8th. Top 6, Blue Jays 5-0 over the White Sox. No score there. Nationals and Cardinals in a rain delay right now. Bottom of the 4th, Guardians over the Astros 6-1. Earlier today, Tigers topped the Rays 4-2, and Rangers are taking on the Angels at 9:38. 9:40, Diamondbacks visit the Padres. Phillies are in San Francisco to meet with the Giants at 9:45. And last but not least, the Braves are taking on the Athletics in Oakland, soon to be Vegas, right, at 10:05. Let's get to the one more. We're going to talk about women's Wimbledon as well. World #1 ranked Aryna Sabalenka narrowly avoids major upset, advances to Wimbledon's semifinal. Sabalenka beat number 104 ranked Laura Sigmund in 3 sets. This is Ryan Cantor Stanfield of Fox News. Number 1 ranked Aryna Sabalenka narrowly defeated number 104 ranked Laura Siegemund 4-6, 6-2, 6-4 to advance to the Wimbledon semifinals on Tuesday at the All England Club. Sabalenka, 27, was twice down a break in the third set before she surged and won the final 3 games of the set. She pushed me so much, said Sabalenka after the match on the court. After the first set, I was just looking at my box thinking, guys, book the tickets. I think we're about to leave this beautiful city, country, place. Sabalenka hadn't lost a set in this year's tournament until she dropped the first set against Siegemund in the quarterfinal. So pretty good there, and we'll see what happens. But she's going to go on, and she's going to take on this would be Anisimova in the semifinals on Thursday, and that should be a good match.
Sure. You watch any Wimbledon, Vin? You're a tennis player.
Yeah, he was watching today.
Definitely watching. I watched the matches today, as many as I can kind of catch.
Fight. Yep.
I can't watch them all, the whole thing, but I watch as much as I can. Yeah. You have any questions on Wimbledon I can answer for you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of people talking about their anniversaries. This audience would be a good example for any young kids and how to stay together. A lot of big numbers. Yeah. So congratulations to all.
Wow.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 26 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Meanwhile, you have vintage right over there. Yeah. Go to there, right? Yeah, no, but that's too easy. But you want to go? Yeah, it's true.
That's a good spot.
Chat. What's going on?
It's by the water too, which is nice.
Yeah,
right by the water. Well, it's going to rain like hell tomorrow. I hate to tell you.
Well, we looked at that. I don't
Thanks,
know.
Slick. Thanks for ruining his evening.
Think of rain on his parade. No,
it's like raining.
You know what? We might get the rain overnight, so we might
rain
do okay.
check.
Yep. Rain check. Check, please.
If you don't like what you see here.
Diane Gardner says, happy anniversary, Damon.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're reaching out.
Get the funk out. If you don't like.
Whoopi Rogers.
Really?
No, F-U-N-K.
I know the song.
You know, you like Extreme?
Yes.
I loved them back in high school days. I went to see them with Cinderella.
Who?
Extreme.
Sorry.
Les Durham.
I just saw, did you see Nunu Betancourt
right?
just played on the Aussie thing?
Anything post Peter Frampton, I don't know what you're talking about.
If you don't like
Super Chat, $5 from Les Durham. Big D, congratulations. Happy anniversary, you and your wife, Mr. Big D.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
much.
Bless you. God bless you.
Palomino, what the hell?
Did I get any on there? Oh, good.
Nina B on X, 42 years. Congratulations.
Yep, Loopy Rogers, 30 years. Tim Nelson, 32.
Major Nelson.
I wonder if he's related to Lindsay.
Lindsay Nelson. Bob Murphy here along with Lindsay Nelson.
Who's Lindsay Nelson?
Oh, God.
Susan
please.
Lewis said she had her 30th not too long ago. Beth says 41.
Way back when, in the 70s.
Congratulations.
Jim Crosby wishing you a happy anniversary.
My wife and I know so many people who haven't even made it to 20, who haven't made it to 10.
Yeah.
Of her friends.
Some people don't even make it
friends.
1 year. They're married. It happens.
Yeah, look what happened to what's her
accomplishment.
face? What was Charlie Sheen's ex-wife's name?
I'm sorry?
The one from Wild Things.
Mrs. X. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Richards, Denise Richards.
Yes, Denise Richards.
Were they married for 3 hours?
She made a claim that she was not going to get divorced from her new husband of 4 months.
Yeah.
The next week he files for divorce.
Yeah, she's very stable. A very stable woman.
I think she could be a lunatic.
I don't think Hollywood is where you want to go for stability.
No, I don't think so either.
Eileen Phillips, on the other hand, says been divorced for 20 years. Thank goodness.
Hey, congratulations.
Okay. If it's not working, it's not working.
Yeah. Pamela in the chat, her parents just celebrated 68 years yesterday. Wow.
God bless.
68 years,
There you
Pamela.
go.
That's amazing.
And
30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Someone in the chat, I forgot. I'm sorry, I didn't see who it was. Let me see if I can go back. Said, Big D, you saw Cinderella? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know who it was. Sorry. Yes, I did. I saw Cinderella.
He was the pumpkin.
They opened. It was Cinderella. Extreme was brand new. They only had their first album out, so they were the opening act.
It was CDs by that time.
Yeah,
right?
it was Extreme. Yeah. Then it was Cinderella, and the headliner was Quiet Riot.
Wow.
Quiet Riot.
Oh man,
We're
what a
not
show!
gonna take it. Those guys.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, good. I
No,
believe
that's
you.
Twisted.
No,
that's Twisted Sister.
That's Twisted
That's Dee
Sister.
Snyder. He lives over here.
Dee Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay out. We'll handle the music, Vin. You handle the Wimbledon.
I'll stay ahead of this one.
There's going to be a riot on the chat.
Hey, on July 4th, the only time I watched CNN was on July 4th, and Vanilla Ice was doing Ice Ice Baby. So I tuned
We
in.
texted me too. I was like, how ironic, right?
Yeah.
Ice.
Oh, I loved it, man. I flip it through to like Vanilla Ice is going to be performing. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right?
you know what? I'm going to stick with this till I hear the Iceman go. I like him. Ding 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 ding.
Yep.
I watched.
Ding ding ding. Yo,
I watched the NBC 4th of July deal.
What up,
Trisha
yo?
Yearwood performed.
Yeah.
I have to say it was a little more. Even all the liberal performers were a little more pro-America than I actually expected they would be. There was no political statements. There was no. And then I watched the 4th from the Capitol, which also was good.
Yeah.
They both were good.
Yeah.
The fireworks display over the Brooklyn Bridge was sick.
Yeah.
It was
Awesome.
so sick. To see that in person must be wild.
Yeah.
It was really good. So
I didn't watch anything. I was out.
You. No Brady Bunch reruns for
No,
you, huh?
I was out doing stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? You know what? I did see some great fireworks as I was driving around this turn. This guy was firing fireworks in the middle of the street. That was nice. Coming around this curve at 45 miles an hour, like holy crap! I had to swerve into other oncoming traffic. This idiot was doing it right in front, right in the lane. But it looked wonderful.
It looked wonderful, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Good. Well, you
Very
had your experience.
patriotic.
what were some of what was the audience? What are some of your favorite concerts you've ever been to, whether you were young or just let's see what your favorite. Give me your best concert you've ever been to. Mine is probably I don't know. I think I saw Garth Brooks 5 nights in a row at Nassau Coliseum when I was at Hofstra.
Wow.
It was pretty hard to top him. He was pretty sick back then.
I'm going to say Billy Joel at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Just simply because the
Well, we
way
know
he
Slick.
controlled the crowd was amazing.
I got about 50 Prince shows, but I'm going to say the one where I was on stage with my wife and him, and we danced for 15 minutes. Man, I went there to 7 different tracks. That was my best show I ever went to. That was the Musicology Tour. It was the largest selling tour in 2004.
Okay. Vin?
I've seen a lot of concerts, so this is a tough one. But
Thank you.
The
question was, what was your favorite one?
Was it Quiet
The
Riot?
Beatles.
one of my favorites.
They came to America.
Yes, one of my favorite was Tom Petty. 2 months before he passed away, at the in Queens at the old U.S. Open place, the West Side Tennis Club.
Wow,
amazing concert! I could not believe this guy's catalog. Blew me away.
Yep.
Wow,
maybe it was all the weed they were smoking.
Interesting.
Do me like that. Don't
The Who, Allman Brothers in New Haven. I see a lot of Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Van Halen at the Hollywood Bowl. That's a cool one. Pink Floyd. Paul McCartney, I've seen a couple times.
Milli Vanilli?
No, I haven't seen them.
No.
Ozzy, Steve Miller Band.
I introduced Ted Nugent.
Oh, that's right. When you were in the radio business.
Fort Myers. That was a lot of fun.
I saw him open for Leonard Skinner before Ted Nugent was Ted Nugent, and he stole the show.
What was he known as?
Ted Nugent.
Fred Nugent?
How about John Denver? Somebody saw John
Before
Denver.
he broke, let's put it that way. And he stole the show. It was great. He was amazing.
I see some other Garth Brooks in there.
You know what was a fun concert? Again, another one from my radio. I brought up on stage, Loverboy. Remember Loverboy?
Yeah.
That's
you won't be lonely till it's over.
In the late 90s. Mike Reno, the lead singer, looked like he ate Mike Reno. He was huge.
That's what happens to these guys.
Somebody said Freddie Fender in El Paso. Oh man, how about the great Kinky Friedman? I never saw Kinky, but I would have loved to seen Kinky Friedman. Speaking of El Paso,
Mr. V saw Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. If that's
there's some people who have seen some great concerts here.
Yeah. That's epic stuff there. Wow.
Def Leppard was my sister just went to Def Leppard at the Mohegan Sun. because her husband's a big Def Leppard fan, so they just were there. Wow, Frank Sinatra.
Oh, well, that's a great one.
Oh, man.
Leonard Skinner.
You know what? In that respect,
Leonard
too,
Skinner.
I gotta say, I gotta throw a top 5 for me would be Tom Jones at Westbury.
Oh, I saw Tom Jones.
Tom
too.
Jones, man, right?
What's
new pussycat?
Oh my goodness.
That's the biggest voice I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I probably saw Jimmy Buffett 30 times.
Yep. Wow.
But you don't like him?
All of them were at Jones Beach.
No, I mean, he was probably my favorite of all time.
I was like me with Prince. I saw him 50 times, 50 live shows, front row, probably 25 times. I was front row.
Wow, some people saw some great stuff. Great tours, too, and they're being specific about the tours and where they were.
Well, Peter Frampton.
Good stuff.
Man.
That's my guy.
And that's
in the gold suit and the long hair.
Simmons,
that's
Peter
my
Frampton. ZZ Top. Every girl's crazy. And Charlie Daniels.
Boy, I saw someone say Queen. Boy, how would you love to have seen Queen at Wembley?
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh,
Queen
man.
at Wembley.
That's coming up, the anniversary, right?
Oh,
Live Aid.
my God.
Isn't that anniversary? It's this week. It's 40 years ago this week. 50,
Live Aid,
40
yeah.
years.
Oh, could you imagine with all of the things they had there, all the I mean, just the way. With Freddie, of course, obviously, it has to be with Freddie, not with, what's his name? Well, he's fine, by the way. I think he does a fair job of Adam Lambert, yeah. But, man, with Freddie in the day at Wembley,
what a voice.
I can't imagine anything better than that, honestly.
I have to give you that. That's the damn
I can't imagine anything could be better.
He was
maybe other than Zeppelin.
Right. Speaking of Ice Ice Baby, right? They sampled that Under Pressure song with David Bowie. That was their big hook.
All right. Well, this is not a music show, but I don't know. That stuff interests me. So let's do some news headlines.
We're not talking about
Rick
Epstein
Delgado,
anymore.
brought to you by EternalLifeCoin.com. Delgado, what else is in the headlines?
All right. Well, we got a bunch of other headlines, believe it or not, Damon, that are out there that don't have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein. But don't worry, because I'll get back to that because I'm not letting it go. I don't know if you saw this. Your favorite.
So back to the concert talk.
Your favorite man on CNN, Harry Enton, came out with a new poll, and we know Damon, he loves the polls, now doesn't he? Check this out. This is what? Cut number 9. Here is Harry Enton. It's about Elon Musk and his brand new party. Well, as people have said, it's a terrible idea. Well, there's a poll out, and Harry Enton has it. Here, check it out, cut 9.
Yeah, this entire thing makes very little sense to me. It makes about as much sense as selling sand in the desert. What are we talking about here? What is the size of Elon Musk's base? Well, I calculate it to be about 4%. Just 4%, 4% of all voters. What is that base made up of? Well, it's those who view Elon Musk favorably and the GOP unfavorably. We're talking just about 4% of all voters out there, because it turns out most of the people who like Elon Musk already like the GOP already. That is, they already have a party for him. In my mind, there is just no base for Elon Musk's third party in the electorate, at least initially speaking.
All right. When we talk about third party.
Yeah, so there you have it, third party. The president, of course, his former first buddy, Elon Musk, introduced the America Party idea on his X platform over the weekend to counter what he calls a one-party system, which Trump quickly dismissed as ridiculous. Enton, of course, doing that poll seems to agree, as his CNN News, that polling seems to agree with Musk's plan. Seems to agree that Musk's plan for a third party is definitely off the rails. So you got that going on.
Well, I think there's more than 4% of people who look at the idea of what Musk is kind of talking about and say, you know, we are sick of Republicans talking like Republicans and conservatives and then governing like liberal Democrats. So I think if you broke it down to, you know, could you see a party? Could you be loyal to a party that had a bunch of Chip Roy, Thomas Massey's, Rand Paul's, and guys who actually, at least when it comes to spending, which I think a lot of people have on their radar of this country going broke, and where we're heading, I think there's more than 4% of people who are sick of the talk when they're not in power, and then the inaction when they are in power.
Sure.
And they get steamrolled in every one of these debt ceiling deals, every one. They never get anything. We never message it right. We never stand up and say what we believe in. So I think there's more than 4% who actually would be very happy to be done with that crap.
I do too. I agree with that. I'm disappointed in Elon because I really bought into him being a part of MAGA and him being a part of Trump. I'm disappointed. On the other hand, if all that hadn't happened, I'd be pretty happy seeing a third party maybe leveling the playing field a little bit, challenging the rhinos and these progressive left wingers. Ross Perot. If you look at Ross Perot's interviews,
he almost did.
This guy was spot on everything. He was excellent.
That's right, I was.
What's that?
I was spot on.
Let me finish. Are you going to let me finish?
That's where we go. Wait, you have more stories?
He
let me finish.
In hindsight,
put
he
5
was
pounds of crap in a 4-pound bag.
He was spot on. He was very smart and very clever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're splitting the electorate there, and that's
the challenge.
That's why Clinton got elected.
Yeah, that is the challenge, and that's why Clinton got elected 100%.
In other news, I'm going to take you back in a little bit of time here, Damon, back to February 26th. Matt Margolis from PJ Media headline, Pam Bondi just revealed new information about the Epstein list.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Attorney General Pam Bondi, told you I wasn't letting this go, confirmed that the Trump administration is moving forward with the release of the Jeffrey Epstein client list. And guess what? They tried to pull a fast one on us. Well, PBD, that's Patrick Bet-David. This is what he had to say about the reveal. Cut number 4. Check this out.
I don't know what's going on here. I think it's the most sloppiest launch of a news that a big percentage of MAGA voters, Trump voters, wanted to find out. These are people that are Christians. These are people that are family people. These are people that probably have kids, nephews, nieces, who wanted to know what the hell happened here. This is by far the biggest fumble of this administration thus far.
Yeah, but he led by saying, I don't know what's going on here.
Right. Well, there was a lot.
That's the point. Nobody does.
There was a lot that was talked about before that as well, where he was questioning everything that, him and all the guys on his podcast were questioning everything that we've heard. They played a bunch of clips as well of things that were said. And now, that led him to go, I don't know what's going on here when they say all this stuff and then they come out and say that. And then you have Matt Gaetz here, cut number 5. I wanted you guys to see this because Matt Gaetz, and we've talked about this part too, the intelligence angle. That was one of the reporters' questions to Trump. Was he part of an intelligence scheme or operation? Here is cut number 5. Matt Gaetz talking about Epstein and his ties to foreign intelligence. Check this out.
I actually think that on Epstein, it was a foreign government that took him out. I don't think it was a domestic enterprise. Really? I do. I'm not going to say which one, but I don't think it was domestic inspired to take out of him. I think that was a foreign operation, government sponsored.
So foreign operation took out Epstein inside of our prison.
Yes.
So they must have been allowed to.
Oh, I think it was in concert with people in our government.
Wow.
But not at like some, low level guard getting bribed kind of way.
Yeah.
At a state to state level.
Yeah. So there you have it. His words on what he thinks happened to get Mr. Epstein.
I think we know.
I think
we know what he's talking about.
We know. Anyhow, like I said, I'm not letting it go. But I have others. I do have other news, Dan.
I'm not.
Hopefully tomorrow night you can tell it.
Killer in a pantsuit.
I have Gary Coleman news too.
Really?
Gary Coleman?
What you talking about, Willis?
Different strokes?
Exactly.
Different strokes?
What you talking about, Willis?
Right.
And I'm not talking about his stroke.
I love that show.
What do you got?
Oh, that was a great show.
That's it?
I'm not going to.
Oh, you don't want to
do it for air, man. I'm teasing. It's a tease.
You're teasing the audience. Okay.
Wow, I love doing that concert stuff. There was great stuff from
Oh
the
my
chat.
God, there was some unbelievable shows. Somebody saw the Cars. I mean, people saw some unbelievable shows. Incredible.
Oh, you know what the coolest thing I saw?
You know who else I used to like, Slick?
Who?
Did you like Billy Squire?
Yeah.
Remember Billy Squire?
Yeah, of course. Slowly. Stroke Me. That
Oh,
song.
Stroke,
The Stroke
yes.
song.
I didn't know what
Yeah.
you were singing there for a second.
Yeah.
You guys are seeing other people.
Stroke Me. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that Stroke. That was a great song.
You know what the coolest thing I was ever a part of was Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Brought them into the studio at Hot 97.
Yeah, great band.
In the morning after the show was done to record something for the next day. I totally got in trouble by the program director because she said, no, I mean, this is a hip hop station, with the biggest, hip hop audience. And here we are talking about Hall & Oates. But the host wanted it. The, what do you call it? The other hosts wanted it. They wanted to do something with them. So we brought them in and they just sat around, they chatted. And all of a sudden they just start playing a cappella stuff. Like, Holtz is just, he's just banging on the table as a drum, and Daryl Hall is, kind of strumming something, and he's.
Well, Daryl's house was amazing.
Yes, that was amazing.
It was so raw and cool. It was like I have it on CD.
When they used to bring other artists into his house, like, did you see the one with Kenny Loggins? It was great.
That was great. That was great. I saw that
Kenny
one.
Loggins, by the way, too.
Oh. They did Footloose, right?
They did Footloose, yep. The way they just worked through the song.
Meet Me Halfway. It's a great song, too.
No, Hall & Oates, I loved Hall & Oates. My favorite Hall & Oates song, Rich Girl. I remember I have such memories with that song. Just such a good tune.
And then I saw Hall & Oates at Madison Square Garden like 2 days before the COVID lockdown.
Wow.
I think it was like within days. It was like all of a sudden, boom, everybody's.
Well, you won't see them together anymore. I think they broke up, right?
Again?
You can go see Hall, you can go see Oates, but you can't see Hall & Oates.
Yeah, they're done. They had a big fight over there. One wanted to sell their rights. The other one wanted to keep them. It's just, what a mess. And they've been around since, the 70s.
Oh, that
70s.
She's Gone came out
She's got 77, right?
77.
76, 77-ish, right?
Yeah.
I think I was, about 7th grade.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Tuesday night. Glad you've been a part of the show. We always appreciate you giving us a few hours, 8 to 10 weekdays right here, Monday through Friday. Friday, we'll be back at the America First Warehouse. Damon, was Tom Kiefer singing with Cinderella? Yes, he was, and they were still throwing the guitars around their bodies in a circle. It was the original band back when they really just had broken out. Like I said, Extreme had just put their first album out. They were the opening act. Then it was Cinderella. Then it was Quiet Riot. So yes, it was, and they were loud and fantastic. All right, 13 to the hour. Vinnie Mac's here. What else has been on your mind, Vinnie Mac, in the news?
Yeah, I didn't get to talk about the thing in Texas, the flood.
Please, we talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Ben Berkwam had one of the.
He was great.
I got so many emails, more than maybe we've ever gotten last night after the show, about Ben's I don't know.
Very touching.
It's hard to put words to it.
He was amazing. I watched that segment. You guys had him on. I talked today with a pastor, and I talked to him because it's kind of a hard thing to talk about when you see such tragedy. And I wanted to ask him a question, and my question was, in many ways, as a man of faith, and I think we all are here.
Yep.
Something like this happens, and you hear about these young girls, especially, but just everybody, and you say, why? Like, how does it shatter your faith in general? Does it affect you being faithful? And as he was talking to me about it, he said, well, faith is what gets you through it. All these people, it's what gets you through it. And it kind of really dawned on me, like, I was really not questioning faith, but I was asking the question, why? Quite often, like, wow, how can this possibly be possible? And he said some really great things about it, and I think it's just so true. It's a double-edged sword. You think, God's watching out, and he's watching out for these people. On the other hand, he's helping you get through it too. And you gotta, sometimes it's when your faith is challenged the most when something like this happens, and it's when you need your faith the most when something like this happens. So it was a very interesting dynamic. He really enlightened me with what he was talking about. So I did want to share that because there's so much to this story. I didn't want, you guys covered it very, very well. yesterday. What has come out of this story is this cloud seeding thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this cloud seeding?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about cloud seeding that I don't understand. Let's assume for a second that it's true. I mean, I think it's true. I've heard enough about it. But I heard about it in Florida when they had those hurricanes a couple of years ago, cloud seeding. And I'm like, well, Florida doesn't need rain. Why are they cloud seeding around Florida? And Texas is not the desert. They don't necessarily need rain. You know who needs rain is Ethiopia. Maybe some places that absolutely need rain. Why are they cloud seeding in places that don't need rain? But do you have anything on that, Rick, regarding cloud seeding?
Well,
is there validity to that, number one?
Yeah, the government's been doing this, and companies do it for years. And they finally, I was listening to one of the CEOs of one of the companies, I forget the name of it, and he was talking to Sean Ryan about what they've discovered and how you can tell rain is cloud-seeded rain and regular rain. It's at the concentration. And the way, when they fly and they either go side to side or they go in circles, the way that rain falls, you could tell that's where it came from the seeding. But seeding is something, people want to say, oh, well, it's horse hockey. It's not. It's an actual business. That's why 25 states have laws against
who or why is doing it?
Geoengineering.
Who?
Companies.
Why?
Because they want
Who's
more
hiring
rainfall.
them? Right. I mean, I legitimate questions. I'm asking, like, who is hiring people to cloud seed? Is there a purpose for that to help something?
Usually it's used for agricultural purposes in dry areas to produce farming.
Okay. I get it. Then why is it raining? Why are they doing it in
Because that's
Florida?
a dry area.
Well, Texas, maybe.
In Texas is a dry area. The guy's name, here it is. He's with Sean Ryan. Oh, they don't have his name in here. Anyhow, he talks about the cloud seeding. He's the CEO of the company, young guy. But he says he was trying to make the claim that, well, the cloud seeding wasn't responsible for this. But it is part of the equation.
Well, that caught my attention, and I just thought, wow, and cloud seeding has something to do with that. That's pretty outrageous. The other thing that caught my attention.
A couple of numbers here. Again, this is just from
lay it out.
Quickly. Says Western states, at least 8 states in the American West, including Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Nevada, California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Idaho, fund cloud seeding programs to combat drought and boost snowpack. For example, Wyoming's Water Development Office supports cloud seeding to add water to basins with costs around $1.5 million annually, shared among states in the upper Colorado River Basin. Idaho Power invests $4 million yearly, achieving an 11 to 12% snowpack increase. California's Turlock Irrigation District spends up to $475,000 for a 3 to 5% runoff increase. Texas counties in the Rolling Plains and water districts like the West Texas Weather Modification Association and the South Texas Weather Modification Association sponsor programs, often contracting Texas-based companies. Federal support, the U.S. Agency for Internal Development, has invested millions in cloud seeding projects, and the federal government committed $2.6 million to seeding efforts in the American West with plans for 200 more seeders. So there's quite a list here. Then it goes to the United Arab Emirates, India, Russia, China, Canada, Iran, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, private entities and utilities, ski resorts, agricultural sections, key companies that are hired, RHS Consulting, North American Weather Consultants. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, Vin.
I guess it works. Huh?
And the name of the company, I saw the guy, his name is Augustus Dorico. He's the CEO of Rainmaker Technology. So it's even in the name.
Develops modern cloud seeding systems with radar validation, hired in Los Angeles and beyond. Rainmaker Technology Corporation.
Yeah. And according to this, the Dallas Express, he's going to be taking questions. I guess he's going to be doing an X Live.
Who is?
The CEO of Rainmaker.
Okay.
He was on with Steve Bannon today as well.
Okay.
So
there you go, Vin.
Yeah, that's
it's real stuff.
Fascinated to see that and hear that. The other thing that caught my attention, and I think we've talked about this just a little bit, and it's where I was alluding to about why the Democrats thrive on division, is these ICE agents being targeted with 2 more attacks. As Delgado noted, people have been arrested.
Yeah.
But the attacks keep coming. And it's ironic to me. It's beyond the defund the police thing. These people, they are the police in a sense, right? The ICE agents are there to arrest people who have broken the law, who are criminals in one way or another. They either broke the law with immigration or they broke the law as immigrants, and they're getting rid of them. The left has demonized them to such a level. And this is the one thing that scares me about the progressive left, because they can create this type of division. People joke about a civil war in this country. They say, "Oh, you're going to create a civil war." Well, it's not so far-fetched. When this is their motivation, is to create the division. They did it with the Summer of Love. They've done it with everything, and here they are doing it to ICE agents. And I watched the coverage of this. Of course, the conservative coverage is great. They're really going after these folks. But you watch the liberal coverage, and this is acceptable. Just like the L.A. mayor thinks it's acceptable to get into these things. They should be arrested, and I hope they will be arrested.
Well, they were arrested. 10 were charged with 3 counts of attempted murder. The 11th person is facing charges of obstruction of justice. And, they're nabbed. And
That's
2
right.
of them are trannies.
Yep.
What are the odds?
That's why Trump is a great president. That wouldn't happen under another administration.
As always, we salute our military, active and inactive, all emergency personnel, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps us safe, everybody that keeps the country moving forward. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, live from Studio 6B audience. We appreciate you each and every night. Have a great rest of your night. I will not see you tomorrow night. Rick Delgado, Kevin Downey Jr., Paul Nolan, Slick Rick will take you through a Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday, and then, of course, Friday, we're at the America First Warehouse. Have a great night, everybody. See you Thursday. The boys will see you tomorrow, right here, live from Studio 6B.